And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. Don't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine.
But I said there's a lot going on at the surface level in terms of donors and campaign positions and campaign strategy and the way they're behaving in public. There's a lot that is weird. There is one last thing in terms of the weirdness of this campaign that I think is actually quite serious. You probably heard this weekend that Donald Trump told an audience on Friday night that if they vote for him this November, if he's voted back into office this November, they will never have to vote again. I mean, he's positing this like this is a happy thing. Oh, joy, never having the burden of voting again, right? The point of democracy is that we vote all the time.
When Trump says that after this election, people won't need to vote because it will be fixed, it's obviously troubling on so many levels because how exactly does he plan to fix it?
The day before that, on Thursday last week, he didn't say that people wouldn't have to vote anymore once he was elected this November. No, the day before that, on Thursday, he told his supporters, not that they're not going to have to vote again, but that they don't have to vote this time.
My instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes.
Telling voters, do not bother to vote for me. It doesn't matter if you do. I don't need your votes. That is a thing that should prick up your ears. Because what that means is that he doesn't think he needs to win the vote to win the election. He doesn't think he needs to win the election in order to take power. He thinks something other than votes is going to determine whether or not he gets back in the White House.
Well, Rolling Stone and American Doom actually just reported one way Trump and his supporters plan on fixing the vote: by stopping the certification, not with the fake elector scheme like they did in 2020, but by stopping the certification at the county level in swing states. According to the reporting of the Rolling Stone and the American Doom, there are right now at least 70 pro-Trump election deniers that are county election officials. Yes, people who don't believe in elections are now in charge of elections. Certain counties in the swing states of Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. This means that according to their own social media and other media reports that the Rolling Stone and American Doom found, they believe in the big lie. They don't believe our elections are fair and free. Now, as scary as that sounds, and it is, it's not just a theoretical belief of theirs. 20 of these same 70 election officials had the opportunity to do something and actually try to postpone or stop the counting of votes in their county.
They're counting on the fact that if they don't certify in several small counties, you can't certify statewide results. 70 officials in place across just the swing states. For all the surface level weird behavior and language and strange choices and incoherence and odd donors in the Republican campaign, the serious core at the heart of it is that they are not planning on the vote being counted as normal.
Normally, the fact that we have such a decentralized voting system in this country is a good thing. It's very hard for an outside adversary to try to hack our voting system and really change the election result, because every single state runs their own elections. And then within the state, every single county runs their own elections. So we have different voting machines throughout the country. We have whether or not you have a paper trail and how that paper trail looks, vastly different systems that inherently all do the same thing, but do it differently enough that it's hard on a nationwide level to try to hack the system. But this is where Trump and his supporters are trying to take advantage of the decentralized system, because there are these election deniers who are in these county officials, and they're trying to stop the certification of the vote in their county with the idea of not only making it more difficult for that election result to be valid, but also that the state cannot certify their results if all the counties haven't sent in their certified election results. And so they're trying to use that decentralized system to their benefit by because they saw what happened in Arizona and Georgia when they tried to change the election result with their fake electors on the state scale. They had Republican governors in both Georgia and Arizona stop them. So now they're going down to the more local level where you have elected officials, some of whom this reporting is finding are election deniers who can control whether or not that county vote is certified.
They're also attacking you for other ridiculous reasons. They're saying that you said to a crowd of Christians that they won't have to vote in the future.
Yeah, let me say what did I mean by that. I had a tremendous crowd speaking to Christians. This was a crowd that liked me a lot. I think I'm at 97% or something. And they're treated very badly by this administration, okay? Catholics are treated unbelievably. They're like persecuted. And if I might say, before I go into the other, Jewish people, if you're Jewish and you vote for Biden or the Democrats or Kamala or whoever's going to run, I guess it's going to be her. But if you voted for her or the Democrats, you should have your head examined, because nobody's ever been treated so badly by this. This administration is destroying Israel, et cetera, et cetera. So with respect to like a statement like I made, that statement is very simple. I said, vote for me. You're not going to have to do it ever again. It's true. Because we have to get the vote out.
So what is the law? Now, as it currently stands, county officials are duty-bound to certify the election results in their county. But new reporting is showing that there is, of course, an effort to change those laws in order to give county election deniers, who are now officials, the power to stop the certification at the local level. So pro-Trump election deniers are focusing on the swing states of Georgia and Arizona. In Georgia, David Hancock, an election official in Gwinnett County and a key player of this Georgia movement to stop the certification in 2024, posted on his Facebook page, quote, "At this moment, there are no guidelines on what is required to certify an election in Georgia, but some of us are working to change that. Stand by." End quote.
The Republicans are counting on the election results not being certified, thereby creating chaos in Washington around the results. Just like 2020, right? Just like January 6, 2021, except this time with no Mike Pence in the way and with Republican officials already in place in multiple states saying, yeah, you may not get any sort of official vote. The weirdness of this campaign is astonishing 99 days out. The dislocation from real campaigning, though, the dislocation from actually asking people for their votes, that means something. It means they are not trying to win this thing in a normal way. So 99 days out, as Democrats stand up what by all accounts looks like a juggernaut traditional campaign under Kamala Harris, are they prepared for this level of weirdness after the votes are cast? Are they ready for what's coming?
So even though under Georgia law, the certification is basically like a mandatory and ministerial duty that the officials aren't meant or do not have any discretion of whether or not to certify the election results, that didn't stop one local race in Washoe County from devolving into a trade of attacks about the voting process and whether or not there was fraud, and there was an effort to deny the certification of the vote on that local election. It took the Nevada Secretary of State and the Attorney General to step in to stop it. And that took a month for those results to be certified. Stop the Certification movement is trying to not just illegally stop the certification of votes, they're trying to change the law. In Georgia, the America First Policy Institute, a pro-Trump think tank, has initiated a lawsuit that's asking for the judge to rule that a county election official has the, quote, discretion to delay or refuse certification on the grounds that fraud may have been committed in a given election. Never mind that that isn't the law. This will be part of the Trump's 2024 strategy to deny democracy, to stop the certification, or at the minimum delay certification and create a basis for his false narrative that there was some sort of election issues. Even if there are no election issues, that non-issue, he wants it to trend and to create this false narrative. Rolling Stone and American Doom have found that since 2020, there have been 25 certification refusals in 8 different states. Georgia has had the most instances, with officials trying 7 times to deny the certification of the election results. And even more disturbing, that the statewide Georgia Election Board, which now has 2 election conspiracists, Republicans, who are on the board. This board is now trying to create a rule that would give county election officials the power to refuse certification if a, quote, reasonable inquiry can be made into fraud claims. So this is a 5-alarm fire. Thankfully, we have in Vice President Harris a prosecutor at the top of the ticket and thousands of lawyers, myself included, who volunteer to protect the right to vote. This is also why it was so important for states to prosecute the fake elector scheme that was tried in 2020, because we need, just like any criminal prosecution, to prevent others from trying to do the same thing. So thankfully, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Nevada chose to investigate and criminally charge their faker elector scheme from 2020. Hopefully, this will deter the election denier county officials from breaking the law in 2024. But beyond lawyers, when someone tries to interfere with our sacred right to vote, the most important thing we can do is vote, and vote in droves, and make the turnout so high that no claim of fraud in one county and in one state matters. Drown out the fake elector scheme, drown out the election conspirators, drown out the election deniers with a whole bunch of votes.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.